Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or if this is your first time watching one of my videos, then welcome. On this channel we make Evo 10 and rally art or Lancer related content every week, so if that's something you're interested in, then definitely make sure you hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with all my uploads. But in this video, what we're going to be doing is talking about what it actually costs to get my SST gearbox rebuilt and strengthened, as I've actually just received the car back. Got it home last night after having the full SST package done by AK Racing here in Brisbane. So yeah, I know a lot of people are always interested in how much it actually costs, and are sometimes turned off buying the car, or if they think they have something wrong with their SST, they'll quickly try and sell it. So I thought this will be a helpful video where we can find out what certain things will cost, how much my total build cost, and then also what other changes and parts I have added to the car while it was in getting that work done. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one, and let's get into the video. Alright, so like I said, I just received the car back. It's been gone for about 3 weeks. Now it was originally meant to be 2 weeks, but after finishing the gearbox build, some other problems were found, and I just asked them to get everything fixed, have the car 100%. So it's a completely different car. But I can't quite do a reaction or first drive video for you guys yet, as you'll find out as we go over some of the parts that had to be changed. But so for the main thing, and why most people probably clicked on this video, is what does it actually cost? Now, won't waste any time. All you want to know is what it cost me to get my SST rebuilt with 10-plate clutch upgrade and a Cosmic Shift Fork 4 upgrade. Then the total cost in Australian dollars with everything rebuilt, which I will go over in a minute, but just the total cost for anyone who wants to know it right now at the start of the video, it was $8,800 Australian. Now I got a bit of a discount off that. That $8,800 is the full amount. I got a bit of a discount because I got some more work done, so a lot of it was packaged together. But if you just drop your car off at AK Racing and you get the exact same build as me, that is the cost in Australia. But with that out of the way, let's talk about what that actually involves. So I've got my sheet here. Hopefully I didn't just show my address, even though it's my old address because I haven't updated it with them. But I've got my bill. Let's go over it. So the package price on an SST rebuild, which doesn't include clutches, it's just rebuilding the SST, that is the first charge on here. So that is gearbox R&R labour, upgrade Shift Fork 4 to the Dodson Shift Fork, the labour for that, custom modification and machine work, and custom modification and machine work to Shift Fork 2. So that cost there is $3,800. That's going to be your shift forks replaced and the gearbox, I guess, refreshed, pulled out of the car, put back in, and obviously all fluids and everything done. So if you just need shift forks, that's going to be the higher end. That's upgrading to the Dodson Shift Fork, and that's also replacing and modifying the Shift Fork 2. Then from there, obviously that's not all I got. I then got the mechatronic rebuild. So what they have written down on the bill for that is an AK upgraded stainless steel bore plug, cleaning of the mechatronic unit, one internal filter, one external SST filter. We have a spring for the case, an O-ring for the case, transfer side, rubber seal for mechatronic. We have gaskets and valve body gaskets, rubber seals, workshop consumables, a wheel alignment, because obviously you want the car back driving properly, so the car is going to need a wheel alignment after the SST is removed, so that's also included. 8 litres of Castrol Transmax Dual to fill the SST up after it's been obviously emptied. Or I guess if you choose to go with the Queen SST fluid, then you could pay a little bit extra and get that, but it's basically the same thing, and AK Racing use, sell and recommend the Castrol. If you're in another country, it might be different. And then we also have a teach-in and super sport update. I actually asked Alan at AK to give me his new SST sort of tune or tables, which he modifies. So this car, while I can't drive it to the extent that I want to yet. I did drive it home, and the shifts are actually smoother than what they were in Supersport with the stock clutches. So that's a bit of magic that AK have done to make it, even though it's a 10 plate clutch, it doesn't really shift violently. So that's also been done. Also the transfer gear oil, AYC and power steering fluid. And that came to, actually, no, then we also, the AK custom 10 plate clutch. So that total amount was $3,500 for all of that. So I'd say the majority of that price was for the actual clutches themselves. So yeah, we had $3,800 at the top and $3,500 for the clutches and all the rest of the stuff. Now I'm unsure if this is the way it's structured. If you just, like say I said at the start, the $3,800 would be for your shift forks. It's possibly cheaper. It's just the way they've written this on the bill. But just because I got all of this done, it's all came to the $8,800. And then underneath the AK 10 plate clutch, we also have an exchange for a rebuilt torque dampener, which was another $1,500. So they actually didn't used to do this from what I've heard, but they now rebuild the torque dampeners, and they'll exchange yours out for one of their rebuilt ones, and then obviously they'll rebuild yours for the next customer to swap over. So that is everything. So that's a full build that I got done. Now there is more. I didn't get new clutch basket. I think that's the only thing that I left out. I'm not too sure. I just asked them what needs to be done, and this is all that the car needed. This is all that the transmission needed, I should say. There was more, which I'll cover in a second, but there we go. That's the $8,800 bill. Now, if you're getting other work done, they will discount it. If you want to get OEM clutches, that will also be a lesser price. But this is basically what I wanted. I talked to Alan and Keith at AK Racing about what I wanted out of the car, and this is basically what they recommended it with, what they recommended in the package that they came up with for my needs. So yeah, there we go. That's the main part of the video. Now I want to touch on what else got done, because my bill was a lot more than that in the end. Okay, so as for the other things that ended up getting done to the car while it was in at AK Racing, so the first thing which they raised to me was my transfer case. My transfer case was a little bit damaged, and they recommended not reinstalling it as is, as if it then broke, it meant a little bit more labor again. So decided to get them to track down a used transfer case that was in good condition. So yeah, that added to the bill quite a bit. So that's all installed now, so everything is good to go. Also had a few little issues with the car, such as needed to replace the front right inner CV boot, supply and fit a thermostat housing gasket, and then missing bolt to my turbo bracket. So that was something I wasn't aware of, so yeah, that's all fixed. Found a couple of leaks and fixed those, as well as a few other things. Got a bit of a service as well while it was in there, so a bunch of new gaskets, a bunch of flushes done, and a few other things. So then the car was basically done and ready to go. They'd done the test drive. I was about to come sort of pick it up, organising it for the next day, and then unfortunately my fuel pump decided to completely die. So after pulling it out, inspecting, it wasn't getting any power, the car wouldn't start. Ended up making the decision to change from my DW300C fuel pump, and ended up going with the Walbro 460 fuel pump. Got the Cobb fuel pump holder, and also got a tuned by AK high flow large inline fuel filter. Now I was planning on doing those changes anyway, because I do plan on upgrading the turbo in the next year. So I was planning on upgrading my fuel pump, but I didn't want to do it then, and I also wanted to get the inline fuel filter kit because Letitia's Evo 10 does already have that. It looks nice, obviously it serves a purpose, so I planned on getting that and installing it. But while the car was there, we ended up going with all of those as well. And then, so I will show you the inline fuel filter kit shortly on the engine bay. Also had to get a new battery. So here's the empty box, because I just actually installed this battery. So this is the Mega Life battery. This thing is amazing. It weighs 3 kilos, whereas my old battery was actually around 16 kilos. So yeah, huge weight saving there. Also picked up some new OEM guard lining. I've actually had chunked out guard lining for a long time. They only had the driver's side in stock, so I've ordered the passenger side as well, so I'll have new guard lining all around. Also picked up, you can see a little bit of it here, the AK Racing aluminium under tray. So now if I drop a bolt down the engine bay, it's actually going to hit the under tray, not the ground, which will be kind of annoying in a way, but also means my engine bay will keep a little bit cleaner, because I'll have less sort of dust and dirt coming up through the guard lining or underneath the car. And so we'll open up the bonnet. So here is the inline fuel filter kit. So you can see back here, I've got the line coming down along and into my fuel rail. So hopefully you guys can see that. And I just need to tidy up when they've put this back together. They've actually routed the lines for the catch can a bit different to how I had it. To tidy it up, I actually had it going underneath my intake, so I'll fix that up shortly. But yeah, that's the only real noticeable change in the engine bay. Everything else is basically the same. Oh, they did actually put a engine like hoist hook on, I guess you call it. I actually had this removed and I was meant to put it back on before I dropped the car off, and I totally forgot, so they've actually put one back on there. So I'll remove that and give it back to them, and just make sure I keep mine there if it has to go back in at any point, so they find it easier to work on. So yeah, that is about all of it. So if you can see this under tray down here, which yes, you can. So yeah, that's actually a really nice bit of kit. It's got some sort of bolts with, so you can undo, slide an area back to reach up in to get the fuel filter and the drain plug for engine oil changes. And it's all 10mm bolts held on rather than the clips, which is why I removed my factory under tray. So yeah, really nice item. And yeah, I believe that is everything. So yeah, like I said, I can't at the moment drive the car really hard because it has a new fuel pump in and it's just running a little bit rich. So AK Racing weren't able to do a little touch-up tune, which is all it needs. It just needs a quick little touch-up, but they're not able to do that for another week, and I just wanted to get the car back. So while they could have been more than capable of sorting that out for me, I'm just going to go with my usual remote tune that I do with Beeble. So yeah, I've already done a couple of logs on the way home when I picked the car up and sent those to him. He just told me to keep off boost. A little bit of boost is fine, but yeah, rather just keep it safe. So as much as the first video I wanted to do when I got the car back was, you know, driving the car, showing you how it shifts, can't quite do that yet. So we'll wait until the tune is finished. But I will say I got the SST tune from Alan, like I said, and it shifts so much better. So just initial thoughts were the car used to roll back a little bit on hills. Now it no longer does that. It just straight away goes. And it used to have a little bit of a lag with the throttle because that was the clutches sort of taking their time to engage, which I don't think was the clutches. It was actually the plates, I believe. I can't remember now, but in the video we talked about all the SST questions with Alan and Keith from AK Racing. If you haven't checked that video out, definitely watch that. But that's where I found out some info as well as to why my gearbox was the way it was. So that's all gone now. It's all perfect, and the shifts are smooth as it is. Crazy that it's actually got upgraded clutches now because it shifts better than it used to. So yeah, it's really good to drive, and I'm absolutely blown away. I can't wait to actually get the tune sorted, which might even be in the next couple of days, hopefully, so I can actually do a video where I, yeah, put the GoPro on my head, take it for a drive, and actually really experience this car for the first time in a long time without worrying about slipping clutches or anything. Okay, so that's how much it cost me, and that's the other parts I have changed or added to the car. So yeah, I thought this would be a helpful video for anyone who is considering buying one of these cars like I said at the start, or owns one and is worried about their SST breaking, at least you have some idea what it's going to cost you. This is all in Australian dollars. I understand every market is different. You can convert the dollars from Australian to whatever currency that you have to get a rough idea, but obviously this is the price at AK Racing in Australia. If you're in the US, then you'd go to Cosmic, I would assume, and they would have different prices. They'd be able to help you out with a quote. But I just thought for anyone who just wants to quickly search what it costs, here you go. Total price, $8,800. Package prices for different things, you'd have to reach out to your workshop you'd be going with, but around about $3,500 to get upgraded clutches only, around about $3,000 to get a gearbox refresh and the shift forks done. It's going to depend what you want to do, what package you'd like, but hopefully this is helpful for any of you guys who are researching this, as, yeah, like I said, it is inevitable. Everyone's going to have to deal with the SST being fixed at some point if you plan on owning one of these cars for a long time. So yeah, hopefully the video was helpful. If you did enjoy it or you found it useful, make sure you give it a thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate that. And if you haven't already subscribed, then go ahead, click the subscribe button. More videos coming every Sunday, possibly some bonus videos coming here and there as my work schedule starts to change. I may go back to doing 2 videos a week again. So yeah, more videos to come, a lot of content to come with this car. Now that it's finally rebuilt, we can do some really good driving videos with this again. So hopefully you guys are as excited for that as I am. But with all that said, that's going to be it for this video. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later.